Get this, in 2021, the tourism and travel market reached a staggering $631 billion. And as COVID restrictions were lifted, people's excitement to explore came back. I mean, we're natural explorers, whether it's places like Brazil, Cancun, Dubai, we want to get out there, right? But what if I told you there are destinations beyond our world? What if I mentioned the Earth's orbit or even the moon, just to state a few? Keep watching because I'm about to tell you how you may be able to one day travel to space as a tourist.
Houston, we have a problem.
Over 600 people have ventured beyond our planet. And as early as the 1980s, proposals for commercial space tourism began to emerge. But what exactly is space tourism? It's people kinda like you and me, being sent into space either for space flight or to stay in a space hotel. Now, the first ever space tourist was Dennis Tito, and in 2001, he paid a staggering $20 million to the Russian Space Agency for a 1 week long holiday aboard the International Space Station. And he had to undergo an intense 6 months of training before this happened. The global space tourism market revenue is expected to reach $678.3 million at the end of this year. And see, the thing is it kind of sounds crazy, right? Because even though you can lose bone density 12 times faster in space than on Earth, more and more people are signing up for space tourism. And this is partly due to what some people call the billionaire space race, which involves companies like Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, you guessed it, SpaceX. Now, let's explore how each of these companies plans to take us to space. And I'm going to start off with the one guy I'm sure you guys know, Elon Musk. He is CEO of SpaceX and he believes the future lies in reusable spacecraft, making spaceflight more sustainable and cost-effective. And actually, SpaceX's recent Inspiration 4 mission in 2021 exemplified this vision with a first all-civilian mission in orbit. And it featured an astronaut who had battled bone cancer as a child, really showing how space is becoming more accessible for diverse individuals. They spent 3 days in space and safely returned to Florida. Jeff Bezos' rocket company is the next one. This is Blue Origin, right? And this is also making significant strides in reusable rocket technology. Now, his short-term goal is going to the moon and low Earth orbit, but his long-term goal is floating space stations, right out of a sci-fi book, but maybe one day it could happen. Then we have Richard Branson, Virgin Galactic, and his whole plan is around space planes. He's actually got a space plane which is going to carry 19 passengers at 3 times the speed of sound, and it's powered by these Rolls-Royce engines. And Branson believes that by the end of the century, hundreds of thousands of people will have the opportunity to become astronauts. At the moment, Virgin Galactic offers suborbital tourism experiences with several hundred individuals already signing up, including celebrities like Justin Bieber and Leonardo DiCaprio. And the price averages around $250,000. Pretty pricey, right? Well, at the moment, the current ticket price for space tourism ranges from $100,000 to millions. But SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic are confident that this will change. Think about the aviation industry. Now, the whole industry, planes and such, were luxurious. They were for the upper class, but they became accessible to the masses, right? And space tourism is seen to be in a similar trajectory. Actually, in 1926, Western Air Express charged the equivalent to $1,400 for an 8-hour flight, which would now cost about $50. So if the same level of price innovation occurs in the commercial space travel industry, a $450,000 ticket with Virgin Galactic could eventually be reduced to $16,000. So that's how you can travel to space, but what about actually staying there? So there's a company called Axiom Space, and it has big plans for low Earth orbit space travel, and the private space company hopes to dock the first module to the International Space Station. AXH-1 is expected to launch around 2026, and the module will provide living quarters for 4 crew members and an extra space for small research projects. Now, the quarters will be a lot more comfortable than the International Space Station, kind of Japanese capsule hotel vibes. And each member is going to have their own room with touchscreen monitors and these little LED lights, pretty cute. And actually up to 3 modules will follow once every year. And once NASA and its partners decommission and deorbit the ISS, Axiom modules will detach and merge with each other, becoming a standalone space station. And Axiom isn't alone in this endeavour. There is also Blue Origin, Sierra Space Nevada that have partnered up to build another space station called Orbital Reef. There's also Starlab, which is planned for low Earth orbit space station, and it's designed by NanoRacks for commercial space activities. And their launch time is going to be around 2028. So there's a lot of big players out there which can make this possible. But it's important to remember that while space tourism offers these incredible experiences, the risks remain high. And as I mentioned in my previous video, and a link to that is in the description box below, there are many ways one can encounter dangers in space. And space tourists have to actually sign a waiver acknowledging these hazards and health risks, because there's a long list of things that can happen. But yet, a lot of people want to go. And also consider this, the Earth, you go to a hotel, any hotel, oxygen is free, you don't have to worry about it. But in space, it's a limited resource. So what happens if oxygen levels become compromised in the space station? I mean, who gets access first, especially if you're sharing with a celebrity? We have to remember exploration is an integral part of the human spirit. And as history has shown us, it is shaped by these daring adventurers throughout the ages. I mean, take the Chinese explorer Zheng He as an example, who commanded several treasure fleets. And these Chinese ships explored and traded across Asia and Africa, greatly expanding China's trade. Then you have Matthew Henson, who's a celebrated African-American explorer, and he's known for his pivotal role in the first successful voyage to the North Pole, and he was only recently acknowledged for that. Then we have Neil Armstrong, the American astronaut and aeronautical engineer, who etched his name in history in 1969 as the first person to set foot on the moon. I mean, these people are trailblazers. They serve as a constant source of inspiration, motivating us to continuously push those boundaries, right? And also wholeheartedly embrace these challenges, even if it's a scary place like space. So, you want to know what the wonders await you beyond our planet? Go to space maybe. One day soon. So what do you think of space travel? If you had the opportunity, would you go to space, and where in our solar system would you want to go? Drop a comment below, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, and hopefully one day I will see you in space.